Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. Today, we are jumping into an incredibly powerful story about what it takes to challenge old beliefs in order to create something totally new.
All right, let's kick things off with a line that really gets to the heart of this entire story. One must still have chaos within oneself to give birth to a dancing star. It's this wild idea that to create anything truly new, anything that shines, you first have to be willing to stir things up, maybe even break.
So our story starts with this guy, Boniface. He spent 10 whole years alone, soaking up wisdom, but he's realized his knowledge has just gone stale. It's like a garden he's tended perfectly, but now nothing new can grow. He's full, but he's also completely empty. And then he has this epiphany. You know how the sun has to set to go down to bring light to the rest of the world? He realizes he has to do the same thing. He has to come down from his lonely mountain of knowledge. He calls it his going under.
And here's the kicker. What's the point of wisdom if you just keep it to yourself? It's useless. It only really comes alive when you share it, when you offer it up to the world, not just as a gift, but as a challenge.
So as Boniface starts his descent, the first person he runs into is an old woodcutter. And this guy, he's the perfect symbol of the old world, of tradition. I mean, he literally carves his gods out of dead wood.
And this, right here, this is the central conflict in a nutshell. On one side, you've got Boniface's fire, this living, breathing, creative force that's meant to burn away everything that's old and rotten. And on the other side, the woodcutter's idols. They're static, they're carved from something already dead, they're just memories and superstitions.
Whoa! And then Boniface just drops this bomb. He's not just politely disagreeing with the old man, he is declaring his entire worldview obsolete. And get this, he does it with laughter, not with fear. He's promising a cleansing fire.
Okay, so the warm-up is over. We move from the lone woodcutter to the village square. This is where the real showdown begins. Boniface isn't just talking to one person anymore. He's taking on the entire community and their most sacred symbol, Thor's oak.
And it's here that he introduces his core idea, the new man. Now, the key thing to get here is that this isn't some perfect final form. The new man is a journey, not a destination. It's the constant, difficult process of overcoming yourself.
He looks at this giant oak tree that they all worship, and he doesn't see something divine. He sees a crutch. He sees something they lean on because they're too afraid to stand on their own 2 feet.
And that kind of makes you stop and think, doesn't it? What are our own sacred oaks? What are the unquestioned beliefs or traditions that we lean on that might actually be holding us back?
But of course, his message is way too intense, way too radical. So how do the villagers respond? They laugh at him. They mock him. Because let's be honest, it's always easier to make fun of a new idea than to actually think about it.
So, talking didn't work. The sermon was a bust. Boniface realizes he needs to switch tactics. He moves from words to action. He picks up an axe, ready to make his point in a way no one can ignore.
And just like that, the whole atmosphere changes. The laughter stops. Dead silence. Suddenly, this isn't just some crazy guy shouting ideas anymore. This is real. It's happening.
You can just feel the tension. Everyone is holding their breath. Their whole lives, they've been told this tree is sacred, protected by a god. They're just waiting for the lightning to strike them down.
But nothing happens. The sky doesn't split open. No divine wrath. The only sound that breaks the silence is the thwack of the axe. A very real, very human sound.
And in that moment, everything becomes crystal clear. The real power here isn't some invisible god in the sky. It's right there, in the square. It's the tangible, undeniable will of one person with an axe, determined to break an old symbol. When that ancient tree finally cracks and comes crashing down, something else comes crashing down with it, the illusion. The crowd is just left standing there, staring at the splinters, forced to see that the thing they put all their faith in was, well, hollow. And this is the punchline of the whole story. See, Boniface isn't just a destroyer. By breaking the old law, he becomes a creator. Real progress, the story argues, doesn't come from following the old rules. It comes from having the guts to write new ones. So, the dust settles. The old symbol is nothing but a pile of wood. Boniface looks around at what he's done, and amidst all that destruction, he finds something unexpected. A brand new beginning. But at first, he actually feels like he's failed. He thinks,
I came to catch men, but all I've caught is a corpse. He's shown them their God is dead, sure, but he hasn't inspired them to create anything new in its place. He just has a crowd of witnesses, not new believers.
But then he spots it. Right there, in the middle of all the wreckage of the giant dead oak, is a small, green, very much alive fir tree. It's a perfect symbol, not of what's been lost, but of what can finally start to grow.
He points to it, and he gives them this new symbol. He declares this little tree the start of a whole new way of thinking. It's not some law handed down from above. It's a new value, something that grows right up from the ground.
And that's where the story leaves us, with this incredible question. It's one thing to be brave enough to chop down the dead wood in our own lives, our old habits, our comfortable crutches. But the real work starts after that. Once you've cleared the land, what new values are you going to plant in that empty space? What will you choose to grow?